Harry and Ron got up bright and early in preparation for their first Defense Against the Dark Arts class. However, not everyone was quite as lively that morning.
Hermione! We've got Defense Against the Dark Arts class! Hurry up!
I'm on my way!
I solemnly swear that I am up to no good. Welcome back to Waterpark Rangers, Let's Play Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. Last episode we got the Marauder's map and got a lot of cards. And in this episode we're starting things off by opening Hermione's trunk to get the Venomous Tentacula Folio Bruti card. That makes it the 5th out of the 16 Folio Bruti pages we have. Hermione's the only one who can get this card because Harry and Ron are just forbidden access to the girls' dormitory. That's just the way Hogwarts magic works. Don't ask. Anyway, we have the notice board. I'm going to check it again, that way we can get the little thing from it. Prefix badge found at the entrance hall. We can't get that right off the bat because we have a class to go to, so we're going to do things order of operations and head off to our first class. This is actually one of the more fun parts of the game, in my opinion. Although overall, this game is quite fun. I mostly just enjoy the fact that it has, like, some pretty lengthy dungeons. They're not necessarily difficult, but they are the most entertaining. So, only Ron can uncover the secret passage to the 4th floor, which is what I'm going to do. I think, yeah, it's this bookshelf right here, this kind of discolored one. It's a little duller color scheme than the other ones. And it'll just take us to the 4th floor. The reason I'm going to the 4th floor is because during the daytime, the prefects actually have most of the rooms from the grand staircase locked, meaning that you can't get through the 4th floor normally. But you can get to it by using the secret passage, because apparently even the prefects don't understand that it's here. So what we're going to do is emerge from this part of the 4th floor, open the door, and then when we turn around, actually, we're going to be walking out of a locked door that would seem completely inaccessible. Yeah, the door behind us is absolutely sealed. There's no way to get into it except the way we just went in. So the 3rd floor, Defense Against the Dark Arts, is where we want to head today. There's not too much you need to pay attention to on your way there, except right before the door, right over here, it's the 7th one of those stink pots. That's what I'm going to call them. That's pretty much what they are. They're just pots on the wall you throw stink pellets at, stink pellet pots. That's the 7th one that we flipped. It says 9 out of 10 because we have 9 stink pellets in our bag. If you want to check how many of those things you flipped, there's actually a page for that when you press Z. You just look around for it. It's there.
Hermione, Ron, Harry, would you come here, please? I would like you to go in there and bring back the Glacius spellbook.
Lupin's alright, but I honestly miss Lockhart's, like, overdone, overblown, like, dungeon entrance in Chamber of Secrets. The way he introduces you to that, he's like, "Beyond the portrait of myself, you shall find the Expelliarmus spellbook. Once you find a spellbook, it will be yours to use as you see fit." And I always thought of, well, he's so enthusiastic about this dungeon, and Lupin's just like, yeah, can you go in there and get the spellbook? It's so, like, informal by comparison. Maybe some people prefer that, but honestly, like, Lockhart is my absolute favorite Defense Against the Dark Arts teachers. Probably in this series, not just the games. He's just hysterical. I saw Chamber of Secrets, the movie, recently, and that's why I remembered those pixies particularly. They always kind of reminded me of, Stitch from Lilo and Stitch, just because they're kind of like blue. In fact, I'm pretty sure that Lilo and Stitch came out around roughly the same time, so maybe it's not a coincidence. Anyway, very obnoxious to get grabbed by a pixie, but you can break free of them, as I did right there. Though you can switch control, but we'll only do that if it really gets annoying to break free, or if I just happen to feel like switching control. It's all up to my whims. Now, we have an enormous cauldron here that can't possibly be lifted by one, but 3 people working together? Maybe. We'll see. They really have to put some backbone into it. It's impressive, actually, that they can lift this thing. It seems pretty heavy. But working together like Pikmin, they can get the job done. And nothing happened. I didn't apparently put it on the switch right, so we're gonna have to actually try again. For some reason, the party member AI, it's like really weird. They tend to just run off in spontaneous directions, when they really shouldn't. Also, I'm guessing we have to put this down, like, perfectly, even though Baron of WoW pointed this out when I was recording this. It's so heavy, it should just weigh down the switch. It shouldn't have to be precisely, like, right in the middle, but apparently, that's just the way Lupin wants it for this puzzle. Damn Lupin. If you couldn't tell, this is an ice dungeon, because, yeah, the Glacius spellbook, like, you know, Glacier? Not too hard to read. The Expelliarmus spell challenge is really hard to understand at first when you're in there, because, like, Expelliarmus, it's pretty hard to judge the theme of a dungeon by a word like Expelliarmus, but with Glacius, it's pretty obvious. Plus, all the party members keep complaining that it's cold, or at least Hermione does most of all, who has, like, the longest robes. It only makes sense. Also, I love how sometimes when you're fighting a lot of enemies, the party members will just, like, hysterically shoot Flipendo, and sometimes it works, but sometimes there will be no enemies nearby, and they'll just keep shooting Flipendo, and it's like, a little cute, just how bad their AI can get sometimes. It's part of the charm of this game. It's actually really fun to have 3 characters just fighting randomly, and being able to switch between them. It was a really good idea, kind of risky, and I wish, honestly, that it's a formula that they kept for later Potter games, instead of turning it into, like, Harry Potter Modern Spell Fair, which is, it was basically what it became. If you've seen what Deathly Hallows was, that's exactly what it was. And those got horrible reviews. Like, Chamber of Secrets, Prisoner of Azkaban, they got some fair reviews. People are like, you know, these games they're playable. They're actually pretty fun at times. Got some problems, sure, but, you know, what game doesn't? No game's exactly perfect. I mean, even my absolute favorite game, I wouldn't say is perfect, you know? Everything has their imperfections, and it's just what you're willing to say is a problem, and sometimes problems make things more fun. Not in this game. Whenever there's a glitch, usually it makes things more irritating. Sometimes it's cute, but usually it's more annoying than cute. Anyway, the idea with this puzzle is you have to press this switch first, and then have Harry run around and follow that beam of light. There's this random little thing up there that does absolutely nothing. So just walk up this way, the same way that we went earlier. I was searching for the switch, but then it was actually right at the entrance, and I hadn't expected it to be there. So just grab this mirror and shift it over to that crystal ball, I think. Is that? No, it's another mirror, never mind. So we gotta reposition that mirror as well. It's like a much simpler version of that puzzle in Wind Waker's Earth Temple. Although if you want to get technical, the Spirit Temple in Ocarina of Time was the first Zelda dungeon to use mirror puzzles, I'm pretty sure. Then again, I never really played Link's Awakening. And if they had any in Zelda 2, then it was just not worth me finding out. So there's a reward, a passage open that only Harry can get through. Harry, chosen one that you are, you must go in by yourself and abandon your friends. Friends must work together. No, fuck that, I'm Harry Potter. Harry Potter does everything alone. He's the star, he gets all the money. Alright, we got this room. It's pretty straightforward as well. What you gotta do is just raise the platforms that aren't totally raised by hitting those weird mechanisms with Flipendo continuously. These pixies, you just gotta hit them, knock them to the ground, and then knock them again with Flipendo. Simple, like you did before. In fact, I don't even think you have to kill them all. My guess is that if you kill all the pixies, that's what makes the challenge shields appear. The challenge shields are those big red and yellow shields we've been collecting on occasion that are just kind of there. Those represent house points. It's really weird. They didn't have those in Chamber of Secrets. In Chamber of Secrets, you got house points for legitimate things. Like, if you went through a challenge chamber, they'd give you house points, and you'd be like, oh, okay. Well, I risked my life, so it makes sense that I got those. But in this, you just pick up these random shields, and it's like, those shields just suddenly become points for your house. I guess it's at least better that you can't get house points taken away in this game by prefix. That I know of. At least, I'm pretty good at avoiding getting caught, so maybe you can lose house points, but I think that the fact that you can lose house points in Chamber of Secrets means that you can't... It can actually stop you from getting a perfect house point score, which might have been what happened to me during the LP, actually, when I played Chamber of Secrets. A lot of people were telling me that even though it was a 100% run, pretty much, I mean, I didn't do the GBA connectivity stuff, but, like, I pretty much 100%ed everything, but some people pointed out that they actually managed to get more house points than I did, even though I did, like, all of the Lost and Found side quests. It was probably because they managed to, like, not get caught by the prefix. In this game, I know there's a maximum total house point score of 500, and as it's a 100% run, I intend to try and get all 500 house points. So far we've been doing a pretty good job of it. The other ways you get house points besides collecting the shields in this game is by beating the challenge chambers and Lost and Found. There might be some other ways to get house points, but if there are, then I guess I'll talk about them as we find them. Currently, though, I'm pretty sure those are the only ways to get house points, and 500 is the total. So due to us going around and hitting the mechanism, Harry, Ron, and Hermione can now progress to the next part of the dungeon. This random cellar room. With a block-pushing puzzle, because we all love our block-pushing puzzles. I don't remember Chamber of Secrets having that many block-pushing puzzles, but I know there were a few. Actually, recently, my sister was playing Chamber of Secrets, and funnily enough, she did this weird, like, continuity skip, like, and skipped over this whole part of the Leaky Cauldron dungeon that I've never seen it done before, and I'm starting to think that if there are speedrunners of Chamber of Secrets, it might actually be a kind of useful tactic. Like, I don't know if those exist. I'm not sure if there are speedrunners of Chamber of Secrets, but if there are, it actually might be able to help. Because there's a part in the Leaky Cauldron dungeon in the Chamber of Secrets game where you're in a really dark room and Harry has to, like, sneak across this long wall and then push a block and push the block up to another wall and climb up to go to the next room. What she did was she just ran at the gap and jumped over it and skipped the whole room. And I was really surprised to see it work. Harry jumped like 3 times farther than he normally did. Something like pressured him and he shot out further than he normally did when he jumped. So this is a pretty simple block puzzle. We got 3 fairly obvious switches on the floor. You just have to have each character hold down one switch. The only problem is, as we pointed out earlier, is that someone has to be able to go up and get that, whatever it is, that switch. And unless all 3 switches are held down, they won't be able to get to the switch. So first things first, have someone push the block over to these bookshelves and then have Harry hop across. Because Harry's the only one who can jump over to get it. Once again, the chosen one. What's in this? Is this a wizard card? Nope, it's the 6 Folio Bruti page out of 16, the Billywig. We also got a wizard card earlier on in this dungeon. It was right after we weighed down that giant switch earlier with the pot, the giant cauldron. I'm afraid I actually didn't mention it because I was talking about something else at the time, probably something stupid and irrelevant. But the bottom line is, oh yeah, Ron can actually search all these cabinets too if you want extra beans and stuff. We're going to want some more beans because I'm going to do another grinding thing before we visit Fred and George again. But anyway, as I was going to say, that card we got earlier was the 3rd out of 5 classical beast cards, the Mountain Troll. Now, in the last episode, we got the Troll card, and the Troll card is a Folio Bruti card, actually. It was a Folio Bruti page and a card. There's a Folio Bruti Troll card, and a Mountain Troll Wizard card. It's really confusing. Like, so many things sound the same. Fortunately, I'm really good about putting these things in the episode description, so if you ever want me to, like, if you ever want to keep track of all the stuff we're getting in these episodes, because we got a lot of things, just go and check the episode description. You'll be able to see everything we got in the episode, in pretty much, like, the right order that we got it in the episode. I probably won't mention exactly where we got it from, though. You'll just have to watch the episode to find out. But I will, like, put basic information, like the card set that it belongs to, and maybe something about its location. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, there's a reason you have a video. It's so it shows you how to find it rather than just reading a list, because it's not quite the same. Also, this battle just went unnaturally well.
There's something just about here. Whoa! Well, that worked. Ron, what's it like in there?
Dark and painful.
Can you see anything?
Yes! And see me!
New enemies, and they actually look kind of tough, but don't be deceived. They're very easy. Just stand kind of far away from them, target them, and hit them with Flipendo, and they go down in a jiffy. Here's a hint. The cold environment really makes them weak, and they just shatter when they're hit. So we might not always see them like that. If they're in a different state, we're going to have to do something about that so that they get cold. Very easy. So Ron found another Flipendo mechanism. This one sets free a bunch of fairies and then just breaks, of course, because Ron was the one who tried to use it, making everything just go worse. Hopefully this is the last crowd of pixies we have to fight in this dungeon, because I feel like I've fought a lot of them. Let's just switch to someone else, because Ron is it's really hard to break free of those when you're Ron for some odd reason. I really hate pixies. They're very obnoxious. That being said, pixies aren't even, like, close to the worst enemies in this game. There are some superbly irritating enemies in this game. We won't find them till later. But, like, pixies are actually pretty low on the list, despite how much I hate them. So until next time, mischief managed.